Hello horror fans, what's going on, and welcome back to the scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos, where we've got another bloodthirsty breakdown of all things horror cinema, my favourite after dinner conversational topic, horror characters who are just too smart to end up dead. Come on in guys and huddle around this metaphorical campfire as we pull out the dead pool and try and tally up just who the hell is left and take a look at the top 5 smartest horror victims. Roll the clip. Be it the final girl, an infamous horror trope cultivated with the rise of the cinematic slasher in the early 1970s, or just plain old dumb luck and fortunate timing, we, the audience of a horror film, need to have someone to root for as the killer massacres their way across our screens. It can't all be bleak hopelessness, but sporadic flashpoints of horror hope, a gruesome, bloody way out of the darkness. Before we jump into that though, do the thumbs up thing because you know that we enjoy the uplifting view of a positive like ratio, and while you're there you see that little subscribe bar thingy, yeah, hit that and you'll stay up to date with our latest and greatest horror uploads. On with the show. There's a few honourable mentions for this list, The Shining's Wendy Torrance and The Thing's RJ McReady, but for the most part I think we've got you covered. Kicking off our number 5 spot, Doug from The Hills Have Eyes. Doug makes this list because, well, I just love this movie. The Hills Have Eyes, both the 1977 version and the 2006 remake, are a gut-wrenching tour de force of hopelessness and helplessness. But, well, not for our boy Doug. Far from it, in fact, because if you didn't know, if you wield a baseball bat after some radioactive cannibal stole your baby, you instantly become the baddest mother trucker in the valley. And then you get a shotgun. Hell yeah, Doug. Well, I don't want to spoil a lot for you if you haven't seen it, but The Hills Have Eyes features the Carter family as they travel through the Nevada desert and subsequently fall into the ambush of a family of incestuous cannibals. In the 1977 original, Martin Spear takes on the role of Doug, the unwitting husband of Lynn, one of the Carter's daughters. He's feeble, he's not as practical as his father-in-law Bob, but all that matters not, because Doug is a survivor and he's out for revenge. Coming in next at number 4, Marty from The Cabin in the Woods. Well, what a great film all in all. 2012's The Cabin in the Woods, written by the legendary Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard, was a fresh new departure from the stale, boring torture porn niche that the genre had backed itself into, and tore the rulebook apart with its bizarre meta pastiche of all things horror cinema, all of which is summed up by the greatest genre flipping character of recent times, Marty, the stereotypical stoner.
People in this town drive in a very counterintuitive manner. That's what I have to say.
Do you want to spend the weekend in jail?
If we take Wes Craven's Scream or Victor Miller's Friday the 13th for example, then usually if you smoked the herb, you'll more than likely end up dead somewhere around the second act of the film. I mean, they had to do it, else everyone would be smoking their way out of a sticky slasher situation. But not in Marty's case, quite the opposite in fact. His proficiency with the fine art of marijuana had made him highly tolerant to some of the more nefarious devices throughout the film, and his perspective, shall we say, of ancient logics allowed him to think outside of the box when the true villain of the movie was revealed. Marty definitely has his priorities straight.
I'm sorry I let you get attacked by a werewolf and then enter the world.
You were right.
Next up at number 3, Sarah from The Descent. As we make our way into the latter side of this list, you'll notice that our top 3 spots are reserved for final girls, mainly because generally in horror cinema, women are smarter and less prone to rage-fueled onslaughts, and we can all learn a lesson from that. However, in our next example, that's not saying Sarah Carter, played by Shauna McDonald, isn't too far removed from a bloodbath. No, far from it, in fact. If you haven't seen Neil Marshall's The Descent, a British tour de force of subterranean horror released in 2005 following 6 women, rock climbing enthusiasts who enter a remote cave system and find something lurking inside, then you should, because it's a fantastic A to B thrill ride, and what little it does very well. I wouldn't say that Sarah Carter is necessarily the smartest of characters, but she doesn't hesitate for a single split second when it comes to decision making, which sets her soaring up to the top of this list. Swinging in next at number 2, Erin from Youre Next. There are so many twists and turns in 2011's Youre Next, written by Simon Barrett and directed by Adam Wingard, that are reason enough to watch it. But if you weren't sold by that, then watch it purely for one of the most badass horror characters of all time. Seriously, I don't say this lightly, Erin, played by Shani Vincent. This film pretty much went under the radar and isn't checking off any boxes for groundbreaking concepts or standout roles, which seemingly makes it even better then that this film delivered one of horror's most resourceful final girls of all time. Seriously, she's unstoppable.
I stuck a blender in his head and killed him.
Oh. Okay.
Youre Next plays a lot with the fear of home invasion along the lines of The Strangers and Straw Dogs, but turns up the gritty close-up tension to the next level in a real family dinner night gone terribly wrong. It's not revolutionary in any way, but what it lacks in introspection, it makes up for in pure entertainment, as well as delivering us Erin, who stands above this film soaked in blood and wielding a blender. And finally, at our number 1 spot, Ripley from Alien. There's not a lot I can say about this really, other than the fact that Sigourney Weaver's Warrant Officer Ripley is a character who does 2 things to perfection. She makes 0 mistakes and she survives. Ripley was never meant to be a sidekick or a damsel in distress. She was meant to punch the damsel in the face and tell her to snap out of it before the xenomorph rips them all to shreds. She's pushy, she's rude, she's generally always injured in some shape or form, she's definitely suffering from PTSD, but she's one thing above all things, she's determined to save us, even if it means giving up a part of herself.
Ripley,
I don't want to hear about it, Bishop. She's alive. There's still time.
In 19 minutes, this area is going to be a cloud of vapor the size of Nebraska.
Hicks, don't let them leave.
we ain't going anywhere.
For me, Ripley easily soars into the top spot above everybody else. She managed to survive 4 films into Ridley Scott's Xenomorph franchise, as well as games and everything, and as anyone will tell you guys, that's no easy feat. Well, that's my list. Who makes yours? Let us know in the comment box down below. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today, folks. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you're a fan of this video and hit that subscribe bell for your daily dose of horror. As per usual, I've been your host, Jack Finch. You've been watching Top 5 Scary Videos, and until next time, you take it easy.